little babies.
Thank you, Irene.
Thank you, Irene. William?
I almost said Richard, but Raymond.
How are you?
I'm good.
So I don't know if you would have the same anger that I would have, but I mean, we bust your balls a lot for missing a lot of shows. And Rich, season 2, he's no-showed a lot.
Hey, man, it's summer. Everything's back open. Dude, you got to expect it, man. We all do shit in the summer. It is what it is. You have no life, so you don't really understand.
So saying that doesn't really make any sense to me. It's just like, this is my life right now.
I mean, it'll slow down once the winter hits, but I'm fucking jam solid this whole summer.
Oh, of course. But yeah, I mean, so it's me, Dr. Big Mac, and the Queen tonight. No Rich, he's on assignment up in.
He might jump in.
He might have to have a poop break and come and join us for a little chit chat. But until then, it's just the Queen and I, which usually goes pretty smooth. Usually we run through this and Bill starts.
It's because you talk a mile a minute.
I just go like this and I just talk like this and I just
That's exactly how it fucking goes.
Well, I will slow it down for you tonight, Bill.
Right.
Slow.
Great.
So Rich is not joined yet, so let's just get into it. So welcome to the Simple Mind Sports Show, Friday headlines, July 23rd. Let's have a show, William.
Damn, it's already the 23rd. Jesus.
Yeah, time's flying, man. And you know what? We're talking about summer. You know what? It's a great beer to have during the summer? White Birch Brewing. Went down there today, saw my friend Dave. He made me try all these new beers coming out. I have one right here, a golden lager, a crushable beer, 4%er. It's very good. Very, very good. So if you want to go down there, check it out. Also, when you go down there, buy a hat for you and buy a hat for your friend. Unlike Bill, that's just how I roll. Bill, address to get all this great stuff.
460 Amherst Street. I got mine for free. I didn't buy him.
Well, I'm just trying to help out a local establishment, so that's what I did. But he did give me a bunch of beers to try, so that's neither here nor there. So go check him out. White Birch Brewing, 460 Amherst Street. Great stuff. Tell Dave the Simple Mind Boys sent you.
What you have today off?
No, I just got 2, and I just tooled around, got some beers. Nice. Yeah, that's how I roll. I mean, maybe if you had a real job that got you out pretty early.
Yeah. Well, it took me 2 hours to get home today, so there's that.
Yeah, what was up with that? Traffic?
Dude, it sucked. I drove by the fucking, what was it, the route? When you're going up 495, you pass the connector, Route 3 connector, and it gives you the time.
Yep.
It was like an hour and 10 minutes to get to the New Hampshire border, and that was like 15 miles away. I'm like,
what the fuck?
Yeah, that's what I was like, fuck it. And then I had to get home, take a shower, and take a shit, the usual shit.
It's the usual when you get home. Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
So like you, Bill, I'm reading the email for the first time right now.
Tell me how it's very pleasing. Like,
well, because he gave a breakdown of time, how long you're going to spend on each subject. It's very nice. Can we do it?
I just check all sports all day. So it's like, just give me a quick rundown. I already got it. Boom.
All right. Well, let's go. Opening up, let's go Bucks in 6.
Hold on, let me read it.
The Milwaukee Bucks are NBA champions. Giannis drops 50 points, 15 rebounds, and 5 blocks. Single-handedly won that game and championship. Has your thoughts changed about Giannis in terms of a closer and a number 1 championship team? Is he the best player in the world right now?
He's got to be in the contention. I mean, 50 points, 15 rebounds, 5 blocks. I mean, that's got to be the best stats in a closeout game ever. I mean, he brought his game. I mean, that game was close for the majority of the fourth quarter, and he kind of took over, and that was it. I mean, that's, the knock was him back-to-back defensive players years. He won MVPs, and then he just lost in the first, second round. But now you saw it. I mean, he didn't have to play fucking Brooklyn or a healthy Brooklyn team. They won in overtime because Durant wore a size half shoe too big. It's fucking like an idiot. But I mean, you can't. I mean, he averaged almost 35 points in the NBA Finals. Like, he was disgusting. He was the main reason they won. He was on his shoulders, yeah, he's got to be top 2, top 3 best player in the world.
And the narrative that I hate the most, that like all people are talking about, is that they had the easiest road to a championship, and then they didn't have to play like the best team in the West, which would probably been the Lakers.
Who gives a fuck? A championship is a goddamn championship, man.
Doesn't matter.
I don't matter how you got there.
If you win, you win. You're the best in the world, and that's all that matters. You know, you beat the teams you had to. You got to the championship. And like I said in the other shows, he was 5-1 in closeout games, now 6-1, and to drop 50 points and 15 rebounds. I mean, he single-handedly put this on his back and said, "This is going to be my game. This is my championship. I'm winning it tonight."
The whole series. What did he have? 3 40-plus games?
Yeah.
In the fucking series, dude. Like it was 0-2, and he had 3 40-point games,
and then they won 4 in a row.
And they won 4 in a row. They had no stop. Budenholzer, right?
Yeah.
Budenholzer, whatever stupid name is.
Budenholzer, yeah.
Made some adjustments. I think they put Holiday on Chris Paul, and that in Game 3, and it kind of basically changed the series. And then Giannis was fucking Giannis. I mean, the games were still close. Phoenix had a good chance to come back and win that game, and it was all Giannis down the stretch. I mean, he's disgusting.
Yeah, absolutely. And was it refreshing to you to root for a player and not like hoping a player doesn't win a championship, meaning Giannis and Chris Middleton? Was it refreshing to like cheer for someone instead of hating someone and not wanting them to win?
Yeah, I mean, I have zero hate for Giannis. I mean, I'm not a huge NBA fan, but I mean, Giannis, I mean, he has fun on the court, and again, he got past that narrative, and it's not a super team. I mean, that's the biggest thing for me. And he said it after the game. He goes, "Yeah, I didn't leave to build a super team. I stayed here." And he slammed the table and said, "Fuck it, I did it," or whatever it was. So I mean, I mean, that's what you want to see. I mean, they haven't really. I mean, they probably overpaid a lot for Drew Holiday, but it got him a championship. You know what I mean?
Toronto did. Toronto did that with Kawhi, and they got a championship. That's what I wish the Celtics would do.
And they don't have any unlikable players like fucking Kyrie Irving or James Harden or any of those guys. Like they're a fun team, and I don't know. I'm not a huge Bucks fan, but it's good to see him like get over that hump. And now he's obviously in contention as a top 3, top 4, top 2 player in the world right now.
I
took him number 1.
You took him number 1. I think Rich and I had him at 4 after KD, but I think if we do it next year before the season starts, he's got to be top 2.
I mean, there's no question. I mean, he won 2 defensive players a year and back-to-back MVPs.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
Or at least 1 MVP, but he was back-to-back defensive player a year. I mean, you're not seeing a lot of big guys do it anymore. The NBA is the smaller guards, the shooting, and now you have Giannis winning as a power forward center, and he just keeps getting better and better every year. I mean, it's crazy to watch him.
Now, as a Celtics fan, let's put it on a Celtics twist on this. Does it make you angry, like wishing Tatum would have this like winner's energy and attitude that Giannis has? Because all he wants to do is win. He gets pissed off when he loses. You saw that year after year when he got bounced out of the playoffs. And now he actually won it. And you could see that this was like a big, big accomplishment for him. But for Tatum, I just feel like every time he gets bounced, he's going to have parties with Kyrie Irving out in Brooklyn and celebrating their wins and not really caring what happens with the Celtics organization.
Fuck yeah, pisses me off. He's also been bitching about 2 months that he lost, $30 million? He doesn't give a shit.
Yeah.
He doesn't give a shit about winning. He's all money. Listen to Kobe, now he's listening to Braun, Kyrie, get your money. That's all these guys were. I mean, look at Kobe. He was signing monster deals with the Lakers year after year in his later years. What was his last year's making? Over 20 million?
Yeah.
They were kept signing him to basically max money. So, I mean, that's, he was looking up to him, Bradley Beal, get your money. Like all these guys. Yeah, it's a money league. I don't think he gives a fuck if they're winning. And he showed it last year. It's all about his money. You're not bitching about losing $30 million. What are you going to say? Yeah, I got to be better. Instead it's like, where's my money? It's bullshit. It's like, fuck off, dude.
Well, it's just
you're supposed to be a franchise fucking player, and this is what you're hearing, and it's all money to him. I don't think he cares about winning one iota.
And the demeanor that he has on the court, how he bitches all the time with the refs. He just has that attitude, that resting bitch face for a guy that just, sulks when he doesn't get his way. And it really doesn't show like he wants to have the best performance just for himself, not to help his team get to that next level, in my opinion.
Right, yeah, and let's see what he does with Team USA if he really wants to win. That team is putrid, and he should
come home. I mean, you got a hurt knee. You shouldn't be in Japan with the.
Yeah, that worries me too. I mean, that's just these guys aren't putting themselves in a good position. You guys are all bitching about the offseason and how you had too much games, and then now no one's bitching about guys going to the Olympics. It's like fuck off, dude.
So how does this affect Tatum and Brown or the whole NBA as a whole? Does the younger wave of stars look at Giannis winning and the championship approach and change it? Or do we see more team loyalty, like staying in one organization instead of this chasing championship kind of thing?
Nope. No, I mean they're not going to. It's all about the super teams. I don't care what anyone says. Again, you just said it. And the narrative is they didn't have to play the best teams to win or healthy teams. I mean, the two best teams are the Lakers and fucking Brooklyn, and they got banged up and they couldn't advance. So, I mean, it's all going to be about super teams because it's a player driven league.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I wouldn't be surprised if Giannis stayed there too. I'm going to sneeze.
Well, also, while you sneeze, if the Bucks repeat next year, do you think it's going to change things? Like if they go back to back and they're forced in the East for years to come, do you think that's going to be a thing where these younger guys coming up from college and rookies now saying, "Oh shit, look what Giannis did. He stayed in one team. He built guys around him. He got that supermax deal. Let's try to do that." You know how everyone tries to repeat in the NBA is no one's ever original idea kind of thing.
Kevin Durant joined Golden State.
To make them better.
To make them better. That says it all. That says it all about the NBA.
But he's not. He's a veteran. He's been in the league for a while now. I'm saying like the younger guys. Like take a Zion. Do you think Zion's looking at this and saying, "Shit, look what he did for Milwaukee. Should I stay in New Orleans?"
No, he's already been rumored he wants out too. I mean, he just got his just got a coach fired. 2 coaches. He's on his 3rd coach now. And what is this? His 3rd year, right? He's had a different coach every year because Stan Van Gundy only lasted a year there. No, he wants fucking out too.
I totally agree. I think it's the AAU narrative that all these guys want to just play with their buddies and build these super teams. And the Banana Boat bitch crew is the one that started this whole thing. And I think that's what everyone looks at. Let me go play with my best friends. Maybe we'll win a championship, but who cares? We'll be making max money.
Well, yeah, keep an eye on the Lakers and Chris Paul. That's for sure.
That's the rumor out right now. Yeah, absolutely. Where do you stand with Tatum and Brown right now? What do you think their thoughts are? Because I think Brown is more the kind of guy that's looking at Giannis being like, look what he did. I kind of want to mirror that. Well, Tatum, as we both agree, doesn't give 2 fucks. He just wants to get paid.
I think they both want to get paid.
I don't know. I think Brown's a different type of player. I think Brown actually wants to win. He wants to change, the culture in Boston. That's why he's here. He's a big force in the culture of Boston. So I think he actually wants to win a championship for the city.
Yeah, I'm sure both those guys want to win a championship.
I honestly think Jaylen Brown does. I don't think Tatum could give 2 shits.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't really have an opinion on it. Truthfully, I just don't. It's hard to say with the NBA because they're all greedy fucking cocksuckers.
Yeah,
there's nothing more to say. That's how they are, and I don't know. You just kind of ran Kyrie Irving and basically Kemba Walker. I know they kind of wanted to get rid of him, but you won again.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Speaking of those guys getting run out of town, Drew Holiday is nowhere near a close to max player worth 5 draft picks with the swaps as well.
It's like 9 total. It's like I think it's like 4 first rounds and then or 5 first rounds and 4 pick swaps or some weird shit like that.
Yeah. Would you give that compensation and pay him instead of Marcus Smart?
Yeah, it just won. It's worth every penny to win a championship,
right?
I think Drew Holiday's a better player. He stays fairly healthy. He can score as a point guard. He can dish it. And I think he's pretty underrated as a defender. And the headaches that don't come, I would take him. I think he would mesh well with the Jays.
Yeah, I think he sealed the deal for Game 5 when he had that steal against Devin Booker too. I mean, his defense is legit. He is that kind of guy. Like we both said in the beginning, I would give up anything for a rental piece for 1 year to put up another championship and then try to bring back. I mean, look how irrelevant we've been since the last championship. I mean, we've been so close but haven't been back. But if we had chances to get Kawhi, we didn't do it. We also had chances to get
Jaylen Brown in a pick. I think would have got Kawhi.
Yeah, I would.
I mean, at the time I don't think that would have pushed him over the edge, honestly.
No. Kawhi Leonard? You don't think Kawhi Leonard would have pushed him
over the edge? What year was that? The year he went to Toronto?
Yeah. And he won the championship with Toronto.
The Celtics had Kyrie that year, Gordon Hayward and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. They lost the Bucks. That was the year they lost the Bucks in the first round, right? I don't know. That team was maybe.
I think if you had another superstar, I don't think that the locker room would have collapsed like it did.
I don't know. You hear Kawhi, he's kind of cunty out there in LA now, and he was kind of cunty in San Antonio. I mean, he's talking a lot of shit about Greg Popovich. How the fuck do you talk about Popovich? He's like the coolest guy in the fucking room.
Yeah, I don't know. But CP3 lost and still is 0 championships for his career. So where does CP3 land in the greatest to never win in the NBA? Let me give you some guys. Karl Malone, John Stockton, Charles Barkley, Gary Payton, Steve Nash, Carmelo Anthony.
All right, so Karl Malone, Patrick Ewing.
Patrick Ewing should be up there too, yep.
Charles Barkley, Reggie Miller, Gary Payton has a championship, Steve Nash, CP3.
Gary Payton doesn't have a championship.
Yeah, he does. Miami Heat, 2006.
Really?
Yep.
I would have the obvious one look it up, but I don't have time to do that. Yeah, I'd put him right above Carmelo Anthony. And then so Carmelo Anthony's last and then CP3's next. I think Steve Nash was a better player. He was a 2-time MVP. Charles Barkley, one of the 50 greatest to ever play. John Stockton, same thing. Karl Malone, same thing. So, yeah, I don't think he is.
2006, Miami Heat. No. Boom.
Hey,
he was on the Celtics the year before. They traded him, and then he traded for Shaq, and then Gary Payton came on as one of those fucking guys that just jumped on Miami, and championship.
No shit.
Gary Payton off the list.
Speaking about your sons, do you think CP3 is a choking player? Is his legacy overrated? And failing with Lob City and the Clippers, was that pretty bad?
Lob City sucked. That's all they had was those three. I didn't think they were that good, and they were terribly coached. And it's the Clippers. It was just a stink of the Clippers. I don't think he collapsed this year. If you want to talk about anyone, Ayton, DeAndre Ayton, and Ayton, and fucking Devin Booker went MIA after game 2. Right, so you had the 10-foot white guy and Kaminsky that was playing better in game 5. What was it, game 5 and 6?
You met him, didn't you?
I did in Charlotte. He was a prick.
Yeah.
No, a couple years back. Yeah,
I think he is a choking player. I think that's his legacy. He's going to be like one of those chokers that can never win the big one, like a Dan Marino kind of thing. He has all that potential, can never get to the promised land and win it all. So,
well, you know what? It's a good comparison. He's Drew Brees without the championship.
Yeah.
Right, because he's got all the the accolades and all that. Like, where do you rank Drew Brees if he didn't win the Super Bowl with the Saints or never won a Super Bowl? He's Dan Marino, Chris Paul, somewhere in that range, right?
Yeah, I wouldn't even compare him to Dan Marino because I think Drew Brees before winning that Super Bowl, if he never won that Super Bowl, I don't think he would have had the accolades he had. I don't think he would have stayed with the Saints. I think the Saints would have probably traded him off. So.
Yeah, but I put like John Stockton well over him. I think Stockton's a better player. I mean, Gary. What was our list? Because I put him pretty low. I think,
So it's Karl Malone, John Stockton, Patrick Ewing, Charles Barkley, not Gary Payton because he won one in 2006, Steve Nash, and Reggie Miller, and Carmelo Anthony.
Yeah. Malone, Ewing, Barkley.
I think all of them. And then CP3 is right above Carmelo.
No, yeah. And I put Stockton, Reggie Miller, Steve Nash. Yeah, it's probably CP3. I'm sure we're missing a couple doozies too, but
of course, but this is why it's called the Simple Mind Sports Show. If Chris Paul does indeed go to the Lakers, which is heavily rumored right now next season, does he become the second most hateable player in the NBA? Obviously, first would be Kyrie Irving.
No, I don't think so. I mean, I don't hate Chris Paul. I've never hated Chris Paul.
He's 30. He'll be 36, I think, next year, 37.
Did everyone? Honestly,
he wants a ring. It's
yeah.
Obviously,
Karl Malone went to the fucking Lakers to win a championship, and who was the point guard they signed to? Who's
Gary Payton?
It was Gary Payton. Yeah. So I mean, they loaded up on their super team and their fucking ring chasers after the Shaq years, and that was it.
And they got fucking blown out. I think
no one shit on them. Yeah, I think they lost the first round. No one shit on them. Let them try to chase the title. Fuck it. Come to the Celtics. I would take Chris Paul in a fucking heartbeat on the Celtics.
He'd be the third hated player on the Lakers because obviously LeBron and Anthony Davis would be 1-2. But I mean, good for him. If he wants to win a ring and line up with LeBron and Anthony Davis, go do it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't hate him. Devin Booker and Ayton. Booker looked at times like the moment was too big for him. You obviously said that already, Bill, but yeah, I totally agree. I think being in the finals, he was like a little shell shocked. Deer in the headlights kind of thing at some moments. It was a little too big for him.
You're a terrible host. Why wouldn't you just follow up with my Devin Booker shit instead of reading it off the email? You could have just rolled right into it.
Well, that's why I'm not the host, and that's why I sit in this dumb chair. So thank you.
Christ.
Nothing? No? All right. Perfect.
I already gave you my fucking opinion 5 minutes ago when we were talking about the series, you fuck.
All right. Are the Suns done? Is this a once in a blue moon kind of thing for them?
Yeah, I mean, they didn't, they finally faced a real healthy team. I mean, you want to talk about the road to the Bucks championship. Look how the road to the Suns championship would have been. I mean, they're still a playoff team. They're a good team, but if Chris Paul bolts, then they're back to where they were. So it all hinges on Chris Paul. I mean, if he opts in, I mean, it's $44 million. I mean, he might really think he can have a chance and win a title there. So, I mean, even the Lakers, I don't know if they're not adding some pieces, they need point guard help and all that. I mean, where are the Lakers going to be? They're going to be the same middling team that they were this year with an older LeBron.
The Lakers need a shooter.
Space Jam 2, by the way, such a fucking stupid movie.
Oh yeah, that's all I heard. It's a terrible movie. But
I watched it with the kids. I fell asleep. It was so bad.
Yeah, it's one of those.
I'm like, I can't. Why are you guys watching this?
Well, hopefully, when you fell asleep, you put some Back to Basics on. Back to Basics, the CBD specialty down in Rhode Island. Bill, give us a little story about what you used over there.
I used 300 milligram roller for my shoulder.
Like an icy hot kind of thing?
Yeah, it's like an icy hot. Yeah.
Put it
if
on
you're listening, Dr. Tom, send me some. We need some.
Bill needs some very bad, but go check him out. He's doing great things down there, Dr. Tom. It's Back to Basics. That's BAK, the number 2 Basics LLC. The website, they have tons of stuff. I'm going to go on there and get something for my dog because my dog's a spaz.
Asshole.
Well, I was going to say spaz, but yeah, but they have stuff for pets. They have stuff for you. Just go check them out. Great stuff down there. The expansion draft. We knew everything by 10 a.m. yesterday, and we were talking about it, and they had this big production about it. Is that one of the most overrated things other than a real draft?
Yeah, it was. I mean, again, the list came out. Everything had to be finalized by 10 a.m. So you knew if they were making trades or anything like that. So it wasn't, dude, it was the same thing with, what were we watching, the NFL draft, where it's like, oh shit, this guy's getting picked, this guy, like you hear all
this
shit.
Twitter. Yeah, you do everything.
You knew it all. It is what it is. That's why I don't really care to watch a lot of this shit. I mean, us watching the draft was fun, but it was like,
well, yeah, because we were wasted.
Yeah, but it's, who cares? I didn't tune in 1 second on watching that. Once I knew who the Bruins lost, it was like, okay, plan B.
And who was that, Bill? Why don't you tell me?
Jeremy Lauzon. That was actually the first pick they took.
Well, that's because I don't know if you listened to it, but they went by divisions.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. He was his first name called.
They went alphabetical order, so Bruins were number 1.
It was his first name called, whatever. But either way, that hurts the Bruins. It's depth. You'd kind of hope they took Connor Clifton, even Nick Ritchie, who they stupidly added, qualified offer today. But yeah, it hurts. You need depth there. You need to get a real shutdown defenseman back in here. I mean, you had the biggest problem last year was a left shot defenseman, and you just lost one. I mean, that was kind of the worst case scenario.
Yeah.
There was a lot of rumors. You had Connor Clifton on $1 million, but that sucks. They need the depth, and I don't hate Lauzon. Defensemen do take a little bit of time to develop, especially in the pro game. He showed some potential, but kind of sucks. And it's the same thing with Vegas. They took Colin Miller a few years ago. Bruins couldn't protect him. He was a nice little defenseman. They got back, I think, the Lucic trade. So
now, the Kraken didn't do what Vegas did, and we were talking about this as well. They did a totally different thing. No trades, no nothing. They just went out and signed all these guys that no carry price. The guy from St. Louis,
Tarasenko.
They didn't sign him. They passed on all these big name guys that we thought they were going to go after and kind of build a big roster and just start trading pieces and assets for draft picks, but they didn't do anything like that. Currently, they're 9th in defensive spending $21.125 million with a contract pending for Vince Dunn, which will bring that up. So
yeah, I think Dunn's going to sign for like five and change. I believe it's right around there.
So let's just call it 27 million that they're going to spend on defense. Why are they going so defensive heavy, you think, up there in Seattle?
Young goaltending. Was it Drager out of
Chris Drager
Drager out of Florida, and Vanacek from Washington are pretty young goalies. I think this was Drager's first year up, basically starting. He started, 28 games this year.
Yeah.
So
And
it's
that
young.
is, so let me interrupt you real quick. So signing those two guys, that's only $4.2 million in net.
Yeah, I mean, it leaves if you think about their cap space, I actually don't hate it. I mean, a lot of the names, truthfully, I don't know a ton about. They passed on a lot of good players. Like Goudreau from down there from Tampa, who I kind of wanted the Bruins to be after. And, they grabbed him. He's probably your best guy. But now, Landeskog out of Colorado's rumored to be looking there. I mean, they got a lot of money to spend. They're in the Bruins territory with money.
28 million, I believe, or almost 29 million.
29 million as far as cap spits. So it's nice to see that. I mean, it was a lot changed. They put a lot of restrictions on the way things with Vegas did. If Vegas teams were paying Vegas better players to not draft certain players in the draft, and Vegas was all for making those trades. And they bought low on a lot of bad contracts, and they went to fucking game 5 of the Stanley Cup Finals in their first year. So they kind of put the kibosh on that a little bit. And you kind of saw it. And, it's Ron Francis. I mean, Vegas isn't your typical expansion team when they kind of blew right into it. I mean, Vegas, it seems like Seattle's going to take the small approach. And I think that's why you didn't see Carey Price. That fucking ridiculous contracts.
Well, did you also 50. Hear too that Montreal didn't give him the physical or the?
Yeah, he's going to have hip and knee surgery.
Oh, I thought it was back.
Thought it was either way. He's having 2 surgeries. One of them is his knee, and it's either a hip or his back. Yeah. So he's having surgery, and the NHL might crack down on them for being assholes about it. He just agreed to waive his no trade because they knew no one would fucking take him. Yeah. So I mean, it hurts the Bruins definitely losing Larzon. That's for sure.
What do you think they're gonna do to fill that role? It's not on the email. I'm just gonna freestyle.
Suter, I would hope. Suter's available. Keith Yandel's available. I mean, that's 2 young guys. The Bruins have been flirting with for a couple of years. I mean, he's really kind of fallen out of favor in Florida. They just bought him out. He's 35, 36. He only averaged 16 minutes ice time. I mean, he plays every game, but he's definitely a declining player. But it's 2 veterans. You could probably bring it in cheap. I would pay whatever to get Suter. Honestly, if you're pretty good, especially with Krejci, needs to kind of figure out what he's going to do. Yeah. He hasn't gave the Bruins any word, so there's he might go play in the Czech Republic and kind of finish his career out.
Yeah, it's very quiet from his camp. I heard.
No
one's saying if he's coming.
Yeah, back. It's cricket. So now you just got the Taylor Hall deal done, 4 years, 24 million.
Well, let's stop you right there. So yes, going on. Let's talk about Bruins. Taylor Hall is back at 4 years, $24 million, $6 million.
Why didn't you just let me fucking roll?
Because I don't think his market had much to do with this. I think it was a locked deal that he was coming back, a handshake deal after the Kraken made their picks that he was coming back. So do you think this is a good signing? I mean, you thought he was going to go for what, $7-8 million a year?
I thought he could get 7-ish, 7-8, somewhere in that range. And I just think that 16 games, get 8 goals and 14 points, 8 goals, 6 assists, and that's, if you do the math, it's about 41 goals pace. And it really looked like he meshed and he was motivated. So yeah, I mean, he could have. There's guys that have, Bruins were 9th or 10th with $29 million. I know there's some bad teams, but. Yeah. And if he really wanted to chase the money, he probably would have got it. He got $8 million last year from Buffalo. I say what you want about Buffalo, but that 16 games probably propelled him, to probably a more lucrative offer. But yeah, he came to the Bruins. He said it from fucking day one that, this is where I hope I can stay for a few years. In 4 years, $24 million. I mean, that's a steal for him. Now, you think of their top contracts with Patrice Bergeron's like 6'8", Pasta's 6'6", Brad Marchand's 6'3", and now you have him rolling in at 6. That still gives you a lot of money. You're probably $22 million right now. So, or 20 million, somewhere in that range for salary for guys. So, I mean, you need to address at least 3 left shot defensemen now. So, I mean, that's where the money needs to go. Suter is the guy that you need to pay. You could probably give him $4 or $5 million on a 2-3 year deal and see what happens. I mean, he's still going to log quality minutes. I mean, he's not the offensive guy he was, but you could slide him right next to Charlie McAvoy. I mean, that should be their number 1 target right now. And then you're just going to plug and play what you can find on the, the third line, your $2 to $3 million range guys that are going to add value, that could chip in 10, 15 goals, and especially if you lose Krejci, you're just going to slide Coyle right up there in the second line.
Yeah. And I don't know if you heard Sweeney today too, saying that he has to get a veteran goalie for that. Tuukka's not going to come back. Tuukka hasn't had surgery yet. I guess it's next week, maybe, but he's supposed to get it back
Friday.
No, they're saying it's next week now.
All right. The when it came out this morning, Thursday as a recorder was tomorrow. But yeah, whatever.
Yeah, so
Yeah, he's not coming back till February. You definitely got to get someone.
yeah, because Swayman needs someone to back him up for a while, and I think.
And the problem is too, Dan Vladar, he has no waiver. If you send him down to Providence, he's got to clear waivers, so you might lose him.
Yeah.
So I mean, they might be inclined to just keep the two rookies for a little bit and see what happens. But you got to bring someone in, even if you just kind of keep them on the roster to just sit upstairs.
Do you use Vladar for trade bait then?
I probably would. I think Swayman showed that he's the future. I mean, Vladar. He's had some really good. He had a couple good games. I think he started 4 games last year, and he gave up 8 goals.
Yeah, 8-0 game.
It was 8-2 or whatever it was to Washington on that. I think right before the trade deadline, the Sunday before.
Oh yeah, because we thought, oh shit, there you go, 8 goals and see you later, pack your bags.
Yeah, so I mean, you could, him and DeBrusk. I mean, maybe that's a guy that you can kind of package with DeBrusk and kind of get him out of here.
Who would you want to go get? Like, who would be a left shot defenseman that you would use to go trade for those two guys?
I got to look at the market. I'm not 100% sure what's available. I mean, but I don't think.
Could you get like a top defenseman, you think, for that?
Probably not.
What about flipping those guys and send them to Buffalo for Eichel?
No, that's not going to get it done.
Well, obviously you'd have to throw a couple more pieces in there, but
I mean, the rumor for Eichel is they want basically 4 first-round draft picks, whether it's players and picks for Jack Eichel now. And then they said, I read something that was kind of updated yesterday where they said they dropped their asking price a little bit, but the rumor is they're looking for basically 3. Yeah. So they want a under 25 top 6 forward, an under 25-year-old top 4 defense, and then prospects and draft picks. There's only a few teams that could do it. New York Rangers, it sounds like they're hard after him. And the Flyers, it sounded like they just kind of jumped in there too. But yeah, the Rangers, I mean, I think the only guy off limits would be the number 1 pick from this year.
Love Frontier or whatever the fuck.
Whatever his name is. Yeah. So, I mean,
he didn't even do well, did he, for New York this past year?
He's like 18, 19. I mean, give him time. He'll develop. I think I don't even remember. I didn't even look at his stats.
I don't think it was anything to write home about. But like you said before, Bruins heavily involved with signing Ryan Suter.
Joe Thornton had 6 points his rookie year, and he's still playing. So,
oh yeah, he's also 50 years old. Bruins reportedly heavily in on Ryan Suter. Do not wait. Get this guy immediately to pair him with McAvoy. It gives you a competitive decor for the next couple of years. It also allows McAvoy to continue to grow. Have to keep adding defensive depth. Third line winger / veteran goalie. Is that what you think that need to do? Obviously, you said something along those lines.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like, honest to God, it looks like right now your third line would be essentially Coyle, Nick Ritchie, and Andre Kasich. And depending on where you want to slide DeBrusk, I mean, maybe DeBrusk in that right wing role, but Jesus Christ, yeah. Does that sound like anything to write home about? You hope you can kind of trade Nick Ritchie, maybe use him as trade bait at this point. But yeah, you need to. You're bringing Lazar back, but yeah, I think Wagner's a free agent. Corrali's a free agent. Jake DeBrusk is in limbo. Andre Kashik's probably never going to play again. I don't know why they offered him a contract. His head
$2.5 million.
2.6 actually.
2.6? No shit. Richie got $2 million for an offer sheet too. Holy shit.
So I mean, I'm assuming, and we're all assuming Krejci's back on to kind of anchor that second line. So your top 2 lines are full. After that, I mean, Charlie Coyle and a bag of pucks, and Curtis Lazar and a dumpster cunt.
I don't think Krejci's coming back. I mean, if your camp's not talking to the organization,
there's guys like Paul Stastny's out there. You could probably plug in a nice veteran that could give you something. And again, I think that you could kind of really lean on Charlie Coyle. I'll give him a little bit of credit last year. I think he played with like a broken kneecap or some fucking ridiculous injury. That's pretty. I'm hoping I'm going to chalk it up to a shit ass season, to COVID and a fucking whatever he had wrong with his knee, because he hurt it in training camp and he played the whole season where they had surgery right after they lost. So I'm hoping for a bounce back for him. I've always liked Charlie Coyle, but he pissed me off last year because he was a fucking bum. But he's always been one of my favorite Bruins. I like the guy, but
yeah,
you need it. He's got the fucking talent. Get him on a line with Hall and Craig Smith, who they look like they had some chemistry earlier in the year before Hall really went up to that second line. So. I mean, if he could, Charlie Coyle can bounce back. You got your 2 solid lines are stacked, but your third and fourth line, you have Lazar, Kasich, Nick Ritchie, and Jake DeBrusk in some order of shit.
Well, Bill, I'm sure you're pretty glad talking the end of July, still hockey right now. So that must make So let's keep the happiness rolling on. Our Boston Red Sox, or the Boston Bombers, maybe you want to call them, because they're smashing the ball in Buffalo. They win again, 7-4 against the Blue Jays. The Sox love hitting in Buffalo, 11 home runs in 2 games, and Garrett Richards 5 strong innings. Bill, your thoughts on the series with Toronto?
I mean, it was good to get a 2-game sweep again coming back after New York. You got another 4-game series with New York tonight.
Sorry,
but you're losing 1-0 right now. So, I mean, yeah, it's good. Richards looked good. He got kind of lit up there in the sixth. Vlad Guerrero had an opposite field bomb, if that's what you want to call it, or a fucking rocket.
I was at the bar last night watching that. I was like, holy shit, that kid's got fucking power.
Dude, he's a stud. That was his 32nd home run of the year. So, I mean, yeah, it's good bounce back. Toronto's, like, again, their offense is legit. Garrett Richards, okay. You shut him down. Great. I think he still sucks.
Oh, I don't expect. But it's nice to see him play well for once.
Yeah, and I expect it to not continue.
Of course not. You got Chris Sale coming back up. Obviously, he did another rehab start. He has another rehab start, right, for AAA.
Yeah, he's with the Sox right now, but he's probably going back down to AA to get another start. Yeah, probably next week. Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, he's coming back. Trade deadline's next week. So hopefully the Sox can make some moves because that pitching rotation ain't gonna cut it come playoff time. So.
Yeah, John Tomasi thinks Garrett Richards is going to lose his rotation spot to Chris Sale, and it makes 100% awesome.
I didn't know where you're going with that.
I just got brain dead for a second.
Hey, that's
it. Felt like you.
I was gonna say I have those all the time. So yeah, I mean, like you said, Red Sox and Yankees playing right now. It's Thursday as we record. They're losing 1-0. Tanner Huak gets to start for the Sox, and they moved to a 6-man rotation. Is that correct?
I don't know if it's 100%. It sounds like a spot start for now. We'll see what kind of.
I thought so too. I thought it was just.
It just seems like a spot start to kind of give these guys a little bit more rest. But again, they've been talking about it. There's been talks, kind of keeps the guys fresh a little bit. Yeah. But not all these little baby back bitch pitchers like the 6-man rotation. I think the real thing is maybe you get to it till Chris Sale comes back. But I think it sounds like if he's pitching this good, he's hitting 98 on the gun.
But is he going to go back into a full rotation, or is he going to be?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, they're not ramping him up like this to be a bullpen guy. You're going to start seeing his pitches get up there. Yeah. I wouldn't be. He went 3 innings, 3 2/3. I expect him to probably be in that 4 to 5 range. Somewhere in there. And then I expect him to make at least 2 more starts. I said 5 starts total going before he comes back, and that puts him right on track to come back the second week at August, where that's where the playoff push is going to be. You saw Tampa coming up now. They just traded today for Nelson Cruz to spark their offense. That's a big bat coming over. He's got 19 jacks hitting 270 right now, and I think he's got like 270 plate appearances for Minnesota. Guy plays every day. I get it, he's a DH, but he can still mash at 41 years old. And
they gave up.
Yeah, he's that old. They gave up their couple one top 10 prospect, 2 top 15 prospects, the number 14 pick and the number 10 overall prospect in Tampa system. So, I mean, they're going for it. They're still a game and a half, 2 games back. So, I mean, they're right there. So it's important. You got to take 3 out of 4 from the Yankees. You can't see what happened last week when you lost to their AAA team. That's for fucking damn sure.
That's for damn sure. So, yeah, it'll be an interesting weekend with the Yankees always. So, and you're going to the game Sunday?
I am going to the game Sunday, yes.
And he's going to get video content for us, and we'll have that out on the website or social media, whatever. So, the Olympics, as we record Thursday, we release this on Friday, opening night. I'm so confused by Olympics because there's already games being played. It makes no fucking sense to me. Like, it's just confusing. Like, I watched softball the other day. Softball was on. But yet, nothing's been happening. But it's this shit show.
Ray, we're actually running out of time to talk about soccer.
No, we're not talking about women's soccer. We're talking about the director of the opening ceremony is fired for making a Holocaust joke in 1998.
Who gives a fuck, dude? It's not. I'm so tired of these guys getting canceled for shit they said almost 30 years ago. Like, get over it, dude. Damn. It was different fucking time back then. It was, who gives a shit? It's comedy.
It's cancel culture, baby.
It's comedy, dude. Like, I feel like nothing like in comedy, unless you're a blatant fucking racist, right? Like, it's comedy. People are supposed to laugh about this shit. Like, who gives a shit? It's a fucking joke. He's doing it in a comedy show. It's not like he's saying it to his fucking friends.
I didn't even hear about this.
He was a comedian. He was doing it in a comedy show.
Oh, really?
Yeah. You have to read the story on it. He did it in a fucking comedy show.
Oh,
in a joke he made on stage
Yeah.
in a comedy show in 1998. He got fired? He had to resign? Is horse shit. Like, I'm so sick of the cancel culture. It was almost fucking 30 years ago. Get over it.
Don't say that. That makes me feel old as shit saying
It was 23 years ago? It was 1998, 23 years ago.
Yeah.
And he's like, dude,
up.
it's fucking, get over it, dude. Everybody, how much shit do you think we'd get fucking cancels for if they went back to 1998 on us?
Oh. I remember me and Brian Dion got in trouble because we sexually harassed some girls at a dance and we didn't know it because we were so young at the time. Like, we're 7.
Hey, no names.
Oh, beep 836. Don't worry, I'll tell Rich. He'll beep it. But yeah, it's stupid shit we've done. Everyone does stupid shit. You shouldn't get in trouble for it. I mean, your past is your past for a reason.
But again, it's one thing when you're like,
what was the joke? Do you know the joke?
no.
Yeah, me neither. I have to look it up.
No, and I think they loosely translated it from Japanese. I can't read whatever the hell that is.
Oh, of course. Yeah, of course.
So, and then it's like, hit translation, and it's like, what the fuck?
It doesn't even make sense, yeah.
It sounds like the interpreters for when Daisuke was here, and it's like a couple words.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, he didn't say that. Come on.
Yeah. He's talked for like 5 minutes straight. He goes, yeah, things are good.
Yeah, things are good. We're great. Yeah. It's awesome to win.
Yeah. He didn't say that. But sorry, Bill, we have to talk about it. U.S. women's soccer team loses for the first time in 44 straight matches to
We're out of time.
No, we're not. Sweden.
We're out of time.
Nope. Sweden takes down the best soccer team in the world, and I love it. Megan Rapinoe, take that. You fucking want to say how bad this country sucks and talk all this shit about how America is, the worst place to live. Well, guess what? You guys just got you lost to Sweden. I love it. First game of the Olympics. You lost. Love it. Bill, thoughts?
Go sports. Yay, love sports. Woo.
Oh, come on. You don't have a thought about this? The women that have been trashing America, they fucking go out there and get embarrassed the first fucking game.
I trash America all the time. Who gives a shit?
Oh, I just love it. I can't stand Megan Rapinoe. I've said it before.
I honestly don't like her. She's a Victoria's Secret model now.
What?
Yeah, look it up.
I will not look that up because that'll make my boner
not
even come up.
I didn't see it. I just saw the headline. Her and someone else. Her wife. Does she have a wife?
Ooh, is it Alex Morgan?
No, it's not her. She's married to someone that's pretty hot. Who's Megan Rapinoe married to? But she's pretty hot.
I'll have to go to the Google machine after this to check it out.
Go to your Spank Bank and look it up.
Oh, it wouldn't be in there because I don't have her in my Spank Bank. So thank you.
Oh,
very
yeah,
much.
you do. She kind of looks like Kelly.
Megan Rapinoe?
Just kidding.
I was going to say, no fucking way.
That was just a double burn on you and your wife.
Thank you. But I don't know. I hope USA gets bounced. I hope USA just gets bounced the whole fucking Olympics.
What did Rich say on this?
Nothing. Just said Ray ?
Oh, yeah. Who gives a shit? We're out of time anyways. Fuck soccer.
All right, we're out of time. Catch us on Sunday for our Sunday social. This has been the Simple Mind Sports Show Friday headlines, July 23rd. I'll see you Sunday. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
He didn't even make an appearance.
Hey, I think we even kept it right at 40 minutes.
We did. We did. He's going to be very happy with us. Yeah,
and I don't think we had one beat.
Well, I have to beat the name drop.
Who gives a shit? Well, it is sexual harassment. It is Me Too, so maybe I want to beep that name. Maybe we should just cut that. Maybe Rich should just leave a long pause.
No, we'll say it was all good. It'll be good.
Yeah, there's no beeps in there. Go for it. You're at some stupid-ass wedding that you don't want to be at anyway, so
Who
fuck
the
it.
fuck has a 4-day fucking wedding Wait, Thursday, Friday? Yeah, 4-day fucking wedding celebration.
I took 5 days off for my best friend's wedding.
What?
Yeah. Well, that was more personal because I knew we were getting fucked up for five days.